Hello everyone. Today's topic of discussion is sample size in research. Regarding the contents, we have to understand what is sample size, then what is a good sample size, factors that affects the sample size, and what we will do after determining the sample size. Sample size refers to the number of participants or observation included in a study. It is usually represented by small n of English alphabet. Now, whenever a person or a research worker is ready to do a survey or a research, he or she first choose a particular population. From that population, uh, he or she used to have some sample or used to choose some sample, and also in the back of the mind he or she thinks that what will be the amount of the sample or what will be the sample size with which he or she is going to do the research. So sample size is very important in case of a research study. Sample size influences two statistical properties. One is the precision of the estimates, and number two, the power of the study to draw the conclusion. So the precision of the estimates. What is the precision means? Precision is the quality, condition or fact of being exact and accurate. So whatever the sample size we will choose, that should be accurate enough to meet that particular sample as the representative of a particular population. And the power of the study to draw the conclusion, that means whatever the sample size we will determine and whatever the characteristic feature of the sample size, and after the research on that particular sample, the result should be fair enough to draw the conclusion about the characteristics of that particular population from which the sample has been chosen. Larger sample size generally lead to increased precision when estimating unknown parameters. So more the sample we include, more the accuracy of the research work. Now, what is a good sample size? A good maximum sample size is usually around 10% of the population. So it is not possible for a person to research or to do the research or to conduct research on the whole population that he thinks about, that we have discussed earlier in the video of the population and the sample. So for example, in a population of 5,000, 10% would be 500 people. So 500, if the sample size is 500 for the 5,000 people, that means 10% of the whole population, then it will be a good representative of the whole population, and that sample size may give a fair enough good result which will represent as the characteristics of the whole population. The sample should be truly representative in character. Yes, whatever the population the research worker is choosing for the research, those sample that has been chosen from that population should be the true representative of that character. There would be no sample bias. It should be selected at random. Yes, that is the most important and most fair selection technique, that is the random sampling, and should be adequately proportional. So this is the good sample. Regarding the factors affecting sample size, there are basically three factors that affects the sample size. One is population, another one is confidence level, and the third one is the most important one, that is the cost benefit ratio. Now regarding the population, statistical theory proves that in most types of population where statistical sampling applies, the population size is only a minor consideration. Means if the sampling technique is statistically sound, mathematically sound, then the population or the population size or the sample taken from there is of minor consideration, because the reason is that the participants are ensured by the random selection process, which is considered to be the most fair sampling process. Now, the confidence level is also a very most important one. An increase or in the desired confidence level or the decrease, both will increase the population or the sample size. Next, the cost benefit ratio. Before starting a research, consideration should be given to the cost and the time needed to conduct the study using statistical sampling techniques. Means in each and every research some costs are involved. If it's coming out from the pocket, then we should think about that first, and also the time needed for that particular research to being completed. And if there is a sponsor, then not much think about the cost can be done, but the time that is required to complete the particular research is a very important thing. Next, what to do when the sample size is determined? So the most important step after determination of the sample size is to follow the procedure for the selection of the particular subjects for the research study. So only the selection of the sample from the population or determination of the sample size is not enough to do the survey or the research. So for the research, what we have to do, we have to select the particular subjects from the sample or from the population. The whole process of the sample or the subject selection for the research is called the sampling procedure or sampling technique. So the sampling technique is that particular thing that we have to do or we have to use to choose the sample after determination of the sample size. The general aim of this is to select and obtain a sample that will represent the target population, definitely. If we want to do the research on a particular breed of dog, if that means that particular breed of dog is the population. For example, say if it's Alsatian. So the representatives of that particular population, that means the samples we are going to choose should be the pure breed of Alsatian, should not be any hybrid or that type. When selecting a sampling method, the researcher needs some minimal prior knowledge about the population under study. If you are if you are going to do the research on a particular type of human being, say for the tribal people residing in the Andaman or Nicobar Island, so you should have some basic knowledge about the lifestyle, about the behavior of the tribes, as well as particularly the tribes of the Andaman and the Nicobar. Likewise, if you are going to do the research on some animals, some particular cow breeds for agriculture, for particular dog breeds for the own personal interest, then a person should have, the research worker should have a particular idea or at least some basic idea about that particular population on which the sampling will be done. So some questions are given here so that you can test yourself. Prepare the questions. Thank you very much for your patient listening. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and more this type of video will come, because regularly you know that eduhub.2m, it uploads new educational videos on different subjects. Keep in touch. So long. Bye bye.